Okay, so that's something made by students. We love making things in the school. We love the fact that we have 1,300 designers that want to create things. One little bit of housekeeping here. I'm going to whip through the rest of the presentation fairly quickly because I really want to take questions at the end. So please think hard about anything you might want to ask. And if there's a pregnant silence, I'm just going to make some up. So in order to get our message across, we came up with a fashion manifesto. We needed some guidelines for our students while they're at school, but we think that these guidelines apply throughout one's career as a designer. They've certainly applied to my career. So the first one that struck us, and I'll be interested to see, some of these actually related to what WGSN was talking about, which I'm very happy about. Embrace the legacy. Parsons is 104 years old, and we're still young at heart. What you can see there are a couple of examples of things that I've done through my career which really involved looking at the legacy of the brand I was working with. On the left is Burberry's. I did a project with them, creating a collection for the US. So I looked at the influences that have informed Burberry through the years, the Duke of Windsor in the top right. The bottom left is a World War II dispatch rider. On the right-hand side, lower down, you can see an English football fan. They appropriated Burberry's to wear on the terraces long before it was fashionable anywhere else. And then the top left, CP Company, a brand that's synonymous with innovation in outerwear. On the right, you can see Fila. Now, I was hired in 1997 to be the creative director of... Is it not working? Oh, look at that. Little technical glitch there. So there we go. So on the right, you can see Fila Sport. I worked with Fila Sport. They hired me because they wanted someone that was passionate about the brand, even though the brand was kind of dead in '97. Now, I had a closet full of vintage Fila sweaters from the Bjorn Borg era. They were completely cool. Yes. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Old school, see, paper. So Fila. So the point is, embrace the legacy. We're 104 years old at Parsons. We tread in the footsteps of all the people that have gone before us. I'll talk a little bit about those going forwards. But when we walk into a room, I feel the weight of my school on my shoulders, and I'm very proud of that fact. Now, I think when I talk to a brand about what they're going to do going forwards, some brands are brand new and they don't have a legacy, but maybe they're informed by something that does. The point is that history is very important. It doesn't dictate what you do, but it does inform it, and you better know what it is. Know your craft. Draw, cut, knit, write, sew, construct, drape, do every other little thing that's important. When I left school in the late 80s, I started life as a bespoke tailor. I took a studio, I made suits. I made suits for media people and rock stars, people like you too, in fact. On the right, you see an example of one of the suits I made. All through my career, my knowledge of how to actually make a garment has informed me. I couldn't tell people where to get off as a creative director. I mean, as a creative director, you might have 50, 60, 100 designers working for you, and you've got to be able to tell every one of those what to do. I can only do that because I know how to make clothes. That's essential. I think when you're designing, you've got to know what you're talking about. You can't fake it because there are too many smart people that are going to catch you out, and then you lose your credibility. On the left, you can see a picture of a couple of young ladies working in our school. You can't graduate from Parsons unless you can physically make 6 outfits. And that means from concept to paper pattern to fabric to finished garment. And they better look beautiful. Sustainable fashion is a redundant term. We assume it always. Now that one takes a bit of explaining. Fashion has to be sustainable for us. You have to understand the mechanics of why something is sustainable. Now, sustainability is a huge concept. It's a very broad church. For us, if there's a little village in Italy and they're making luxury trunks for Prada, and those trunks cost $40,000 and barely anyone can afford them, well, we think that's a good thing. Because we think that if that factory is sustaining that village and keeping them working and keeping those skills alive, that's a good thing. It's ironic that during this recent financial downturn, people were pointing the finger at people that brands that were making luxury products. What's the alternative? Put it in the bank? I mean, surely rich people buying expensive things that keep factories alive is a good thing. But of course, sustainability is about much more than that. On the right, you can see it's actually our gallery in New York. We did a project recently with Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton have a press collection every season. At the end of the season, they destroy it. because they don't do sales. They don't have a factory outlet. And we think that's outrageous. So we worked with them and we said, give it to us. So we combined that press collection, 150 garments starting at about $1,000 a piece. We combined it with elements from our own Parsons archive, some garments that were very old but were perhaps damaged. We took 20 students, we put them in a room, we gave them one day, and we said, create something fabulous. At the end of the day, they came up with outfits which were in Vogue UK, Vogue US, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal. They were on television, they were on style.com, they were everywhere. So we really proved something, that nothing need be wasted. We can repurpose, we can reuse, we can recycle. Challenge the status quo. Design solutions that balance ecology, society, and culture. So I'm getting carried away and forgetting my notes now. Here you can see two pictures. On the left, you see a snapshot from our Parsons table salon series. Now, as a school, we have no corporate agenda. We like some brands, we don't like others, but ultimately it doesn't matter to us. We're about education. So we can bring people together from different industries and from different brands without them having to worry about who else is around the table. So we do that. We think that's one of our duties as a school, is to nurture this kind of conversation. Here on the left, you can see Julie Gilhart. She's one of the most influential people in the world of design. She's the fashion director of Barney's New York. And Barney's, everyone knows Barney's. They start trends, they pick up on designers, they are incredibly influential. On the right, you see Jimmy Chan. He owns Martine Sitbon, the atelier, the couturier in Paris. Jimmy actually went to Parsons, both incredibly influential. We brought them with them and 10 other people around a table, and we came up with the Sustainable Manifesto. Forgive the second use of the word manifesto, but they're important to us. The Sustainable Manifesto is going to be online in a couple of weeks. It's for sharing. It's an open source website for sharing how you can become a more sustainable person or a more sustainable brand. And the key is not in a boring way. Like, I can't really be bothered to read these long treatises on sustainability. I just haven't got the time or the interest. I want to know exactly what I can do. And that's what the Sustainable Manifesto is about. The second thing it's going to do is it's going to out people who are greenwashing. We see a lot of people claiming sustainability, claiming to be green. We see stores like The Gap, who for a long time in New York City, where it gets pretty warm, just as it does here, had their doors open all summer. Air conditioning flooding out. I presume they were trying to cool the planet down. I don't know. But we don't think that's a good use of resources. So we're going to get on top of that kind of thing and let people know. On the right, you see the work of a gentleman called Timo Räsänen. Timo is a professor of sustainability. We just hired him to become full-time faculty at Parsons. I think that's probably one of the first, if not the first, full-time professor of sustainability in a fashion school in the world. What you can see there is a hoodie which Timo designed. It's zero waste. Next to it is a picture of the pattern layout. There's nothing on that. No waste, nothing, not one bit. It uses 100% of the fabric, and it has a minimum of seaming, so it doesn't take as much sewing. It doesn't take as much thread. You just put it all together, and you have a garment with, I don't know what, 40% less energy and waste. Apparently, the average waste of a garment is 15%. That's a lot of wasted fabric. We don't believe in that. We believe in zero waste.